Former Yankee Jim Leyritz with Armen and Levack. Thanks to Red Wing Shoes every Tuesday. Actually, every Wednesday normally, but tomorrow we're going to be at Giants camp. So Jimmy, kind enough to jump on with us today at 5:15. And Leyritz, sir, the Yankees did not do a lot of moves before the trade deadline. How disappointed are you, Jimmy?
Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit. I would have expected, even though they're in first place and they're playing pretty well, I would have expected them to at least maybe get one more arm or possibly upgrade at second base, which I thought or even one of the corner outfield positions, right field especially. I would have thought they might have done something. But, again, it's one of those things we were talking about last week that Cashman seems pretty convinced that they can do with what they have, and also from some of these young kids that can come up from the minor leagues get an opportunity to play. So I think, again, we're talking. They're 5.5 games in first place right now, so they're doing something right.
Jim, it's a safe place, man. I'm a Yankee fan. I'll admit it. I'm ticked off. I want him to bring people. You can be ticked off, too. It's okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? I will be ticked off if, all of a sudden I look up in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we're down 4 games. At the same time, as being one of those young players that got brought up in the 90s, I think this is a great opportunity to bring some of these kids up and say, okay, you're going to come in when we need to win, and you're going to have to perform. And let's find out who those kids are that can handle that pressure.
I don't know what the heck is wrong with you guys. You're not okay with Dustin Ackley hitting 212 coming up for the Yankees? That's not enough for you guys?
I would have liked to
he's actually hitting better than our second baseman, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is accurate. Jim Leyritz, 2-time World Series champion with Armen and Levack, your home for New York Yankees baseball. Thanks to Red Wing Shoes. Jim joins us every week. But see, here's the thing with you two guys, too. You can't make a lot of trades whenever you have 4 to 5 guys that are no touchy. I mean, Jim, it's not like you had big expectations before the trade deadlines with the amount of guys that Cashman had untouchable in the farm system this year, right?
Well, yeah, that's true, and I give him some credit for sticking to that, because we talked about this again last week. Was that what they didn't expect this team to win? Brian Cashman had a game plan, kind of like Gene Michael did back in the 90s. This game plan that we were probably not going to compete, at the levels that they're competing right now, but we were going to start building from within again and giving some of these young kids a chance. And I think he's kind of surprised at right now where they are, and at the same time doesn't want to go away from the game plan that they had originated a year ago. So I think that's part of. He doesn't want to give up these young kids because they're just on the cusp of maybe coming up and being able to contribute at the big league level.
Now, the farm system pretty well because you're there and you get to see these guys a little more than the rest of us. But we know Severino's about to make his appearance. Who else on that untouchable list do you expect, if any, to see this season? Judge, Bird, Mateo, anybody?
Well, I think you're going to see Judge. I mean, he's a guy that, depending on the health of Carlos Beltran and what goes on with that, he may get an opportunity. Other than that, I don't think unless Teixeira gets hurt, which could happen, but hasn't happened yet. But
don't even say
won't
it.
see Bird. But I honestly think that, with Severino being up there, that's the one guy that they wanted to go, okay, he's ready, and now we're going to give him that opportunity to pitch in some pressure situations, and to be able to keep us in first place. So I think the untouchable guys, of all of those, the only other one I think you'll see up this year is Judge.
I love Leyritz's optimism on Teixeira getting injured this year.
Oh.
Like, it'll happen. Don't worry, everybody.
Listen, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but he's. I tip my hat. I mean, the guy, supposedly, again, you hear it every year from guys. Oh, I went home and I'm on a new routine. I'm on a new diet. I'm on all this stuff. Well, obviously, whatever he did this past season, it's worked so far, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed that he can make it all the way through.
It's just clear, Leyritz. Gluten is the devil. You give up gluten, you hit over 30 home runs.
I'm going to have to think about doing that.
See, but like if you're still playing, giving up gluten is worth it. But like my neighbor Jackie, she gives up gluten and she has no reason. She's just like, I just want to be different. I'm like, then get a bicycle and paint it purple, pink, and blue. Like, you don't have to be gluten. You know,
Yeah,
do something different.
I haven't gone that route yet either.
Jim, when we talk about the guys coming up, of course, like we already mentioned, Severino getting his shot tomorrow night. What do you expect from him in his first big league debut game?
You know, you got to hope the guy goes 6 good, strong innings. You know he's going to be amped up a little bit, which could work against him. Anytime you have a guy that's a sinker ball pitcher that gets amped up, he tends to get the ball up in the zone. But I think once he gets over that little extra adrenaline that he's got going, from what I've seen of the kid, he looks pretty good, and I think he'll have a chance to be successful up here.
Jim Leyritz, former Yankee with Armen and Levack. Thanks to Red Wing Shoes. The Yankees kicking off a 3-game series against the Red Sox right here tonight on 104.5 The Team. First pitch at 7:05. Jim, since you played for the Red Sox for a cup of coffee, does that mean that you can't have the amount of hatred towards the Red Sox that most Yankee players would have, or we would think they would have?
Well, you know what? I don't think it's not that rivalry like it used to be. You know, I played for both teams, like you said, and I see very similarities between the two teams as far as, you know, the teams themselves and the fans. And, you know, to me, it's positive. I think the rivalry is still stronger amongst the fans than it is the players nowadays because they go back and forth so much to teams. I mean, back in the day, you would never trade a player in your own division that could come back to hurt you. And they seem to be doing it right and left, you know, all the time now. So I think it's a little bit different now than it was back then.
Jim, I blocked out that part of your career just so we're clear.
Yeah. A lot of people have.
Jim Leyritz thanks Armen and Levack. Takes the Red Wing Shoes with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. Jim, Didi Gregorius, man, he's coming around. He's finally swinging that bat in July. He hit .317 with 6 extra base hits and a .786 OPS. Is this is more of the Didi that we expected? Was it just time for this guy? Is that all it took for him to finally learn how to swing the bat?
Well, yeah, I think that's replacing Derek Jeter had a ton of pressure on him. Getting used to the New York surroundings, playing in New York with the media that the way it is, compared to Arizona, where there's probably 2 reporters in the whole locker room. It's a whole different ballgame here. And if you look at all of the players that have come from other teams before and got here, they've all gotten off to kind of slow starts. Just because it is something that you have to get familiar with. It is something you got to get used to, and I think he's finally doing that.
Okay, I've been in the Diamondbacks clubhouse. They have like 7 reporters. All right, will you give them a little credit?
Okay.
Jeez. God bless. Taking digs in Arizona.
That's exactly. That's still not quite as many as. Again, anytime you're in the New York locker rooms and things like that, you have 20 to 30 media people, in your face at your locker every day. And I can't imagine, especially in the beginning when it was about replacing Derek Jeter, these guys were in his locker, in his face every day. And that takes its toll on you. I think now that, the season's kind of gotten underway, there's more stories with other players and other things around that they kind of left him alone a little bit. And he's been able to kind of just get used to being there. And I think that's what you're seeing. I think he's just getting comfortable. And I try to remember, I was talking to somebody the other day about this, when Tino finally was accepted as Don Mattingly's replacement. And I think, if I'm correct, it was sometime in July also when he had a big home run to help win the game. That's when finally it was like, okay, this is now Tino Martinez and not the replacement for Don Mattingly.
Jim, sadly for me, even though the Yankees are 5.5 games up, the story in New York is the Mets. The Mets taking first place.
Well, you know what? It's the changing of the guard, I think, a little bit. It's one of the things that people are still going, okay, the Yankees are 5.5 games in first place. Let's just be quiet because we don't want anybody to realize that that's what's going on. But the Mets are the exciting team. The Yankees are just consistent, and they're winning and playing. The Mets are the exciting team because they got a bunch of young kids. And, again, it's kind of like what the Yankees did back in the 90s is they're bringing all of their young players up and giving them opportunities. And for them, fortunately, all of their moves from some of these young kids, they're working out pretty good. And they're delivering with a team that's fighting for first place over there in the NL East. So I think it's an exciting time for them. It's going to be an exciting time for New York because the Daily News and the Post are going to be fighting over who gets the back page, whether it's the Yankees or the Mets, and we have not had that for a long time here in New York.
Oh, and Jim, you just get the feeling that the Mets are just feeling it. Last night, Terry Collins, I was watching the postgame, and he said, look, this is exciting for Mets fans. Get on board now because we're not going to disappoint you. I mean, this team they're feeling it. The Mets have confidence in themselves. How far does that go?
Well, I tell you what's really scary is I just got done playing in an event this weekend for Frank Catalano. He had his charity softball and golf outing this past weekend. And I was over there, and even Bobby Valentine, who I ran into, was cheering. I mean, he was running around the softball field going, "Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets!" I mean, I think everybody's kind of feeling that. And
did he have the mustache on?
No, he did not. He did not have the mustache on. But you know, they're exciting right now because again, they're young, and these kids are they're playing the game hard. And of course, once they went and got Cespedes, all of a sudden Lucas Duda, has come out of the closet, so to say. He's been hitting the ball. So it's an exciting time for them. And listen, again, them playing well, I think only helps the city of New York and to get everybody excited around here.
Bobby V's restaurant in Arlington, by the way, killer nachos and wings. I'm just saying, if anybody makes it to Texas, Bobby V's, you can eat in Bobby V's boxing ring that he has in the middle of the restaurant. I used to have every birthday party there when I was a kid.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I haven't been there yet.
Look it up and let me know when you're there. I'll let you swing by my parents' house. My mom will cook you a nice meatloaf. Mom, meatloaf! It'll be nice.
Hey, Leyritz, by the way, just so you know, those 7 reporters in the Diamondbacks locker room,
yes,
that was a World Series year. So don't feel bad about your prediction. There was only 2 in there normally.
Hey, there you go.
Jimmy Leyritz, thanks to Red Wing Shoes with Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team, JimLeyritz.com. TheGreatestSave.org is the foundation that he worked so hard for. Jim, what are you up to this week, my man?
Well, I'm in town working. I got a couple of charity events I've got to do this week. I'm going up to the Harlem RBI Kids Camp on Thursday, and work with the kids up there for the Harlem RBI Foundation. And same as always, just up here doing foundation charity work and taking in some Yankee games.
Hey, we spent some time with Jeter earlier today in the Turn 2 Foundation and the work that he does. What does it mean when you look at a guy like Derek Jeter and the amount of effort, and Mo Rivera? I mean, the guys that you spend time with on this Yankees team, they were epic on the field, but they're also epic off. And by the way, you're included in that category. I mean, what does it mean when you look around and look at the amount of off-the-field work that your crew, your era has been doing?
Well, one of the things that I was so impressed with, it was with how much Jeter, this Turn 2 Foundation has changed kids' lives. It's one of the biggest organizations. The amount of money that they've raised, the amount of kids that they put through college and given a chance. But as much as Derek is the face of that, his sister Charlie is the one that really is the guts and the glory of that, because she has run that foundation since the start. And of course, his mother and father are involved also. But to me, that is his foundation. The Turn 2 Foundation is one of the best foundations I've ever seen, because I was so much a part of it when I was playing. When I retired, that I saw the changes that these kids were going through, and the chances they were getting, and the opportunities they did good things with. I can't say enough about that foundation. They've done a tremendous job.
And his sister has been here all week in the Capital Region as well with the Turn 2 Foundation, and they've been doing great work. They went to a farm in Voorheesville yesterday. They picked vegetables and delivered it to different kitchens and food pantries in the area. And then today they're doing a leadership seminar at Siena College. It's been great to see Derek Jeter doing work with Jeter's leaders in the Capital Region. Jim Leyritz, you do great work as well with us, my friend. Thanks to Red Wing Shoes every week. Red Wing Shoes in Clifton Park Center, presented by our friends at Red Wing Shoes, where just like the Yankees, excellence is the standard. Visit them at cliftonpark.redwingshoestore.com. They can fit your feet, your job, your hobby, and your wallet. Mr. Leyritz, have a great week, my man. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right, boys. Good talking to you. Talk to you next week.